So, today we're going to explore this really beautiful idea called Withloveonology. Now I know, the name might sound like a bit of a mouthful, but the concept itself, it's actually incredibly gentle. Think of it less like a set of rules and more like, well, just a way of being.
Let's just start with a question. Have you ever had that feeling deep down that life isn't really about following some pre-drawn map, with a big X marking the spot, that maybe it's more about finding good ground, planting yourself right where you are, and just seeing how you grow?
And this image, this really gets to the heart of it. This isn't a blueprint you have to follow perfectly. It's more like a visual guide to a feeling, a philosophy that's all about that kind of natural, organic growth. Something that just happens, without us forcing it.
So where does all this begin? Well, it starts with a really simple, really powerful metaphor. Just a single seed. I mean, every strong tree we've ever seen started out that way, right?
And this is what's called the seed-to-tree principle. It's this core belief that real, lasting growth isn't something you can force or cram from a textbook. It's an unfolding. It's something that happens all on its own when the conditions are right. You don't push it, it just happens.
Okay, so if you have a seed, what's the very first thing it needs to grow? Good soil, right? Well, in this way of thinking, that soil, that ground that holds everything, that's reality.
And this really breaks down the difference between what's real and, well, the real. Reality is like an open window. It's just what is, right here, right now. The real, on the other hand, is the edited version. It's the curated story, the highlight reel we show the world. It's the difference between actually being in the moment and, performing for it.
And the most important thing to remember is that this reality is our foundation. It's the simple truth that's always there, underneath all the stories and the filters we put on top. You just can't erase what's actually real.
All right, so we've got our seed planted in the good soil of reality. So what's next? What helps it grow? What's the water and the sunlight in this whole analogy?
Well, first, there's this idea of withove, and it's not just any kind of love. This is a love that flows with something. It doesn't try to control it or possess it or change it. It's more of a gentle, allowing presence.
Think of it like this. If you want to hold a butterfly, what do? You don't close your fist and grab it, right? You just open your hand, and you let it be there. That open hand, that's withhove. It's gentle. It allows. It doesn't dominate.
And then there's logis. This is such a cool idea. It's basically saying that wisdom isn't just about what's in your head or what you read in a book. It's about all the other ways we know things. It's trusting our feelings, learning from silence, or that deep understanding you get just from being out in nature.
And we all have these, right? It's that gut feeling you get. It's the sense of peace after a long walk in the woods. It's the clarity that just shows up after a quiet moment, or the wisdom you gain when you get through something tough. These are all real, valid ways of knowing.
So, what happens when you combine that solid grounding in what's real with that gentle nurturing of Withove and you start listening to your logis? Well, pretty naturally, that little seed starts its journey to becoming a really strong tree.
So here's how that journey kind of looks. You start by grounding yourself in what's actually happening. Then you nurture that with a gentle, non-controlling love. You start to listen to all the different ways you have of knowing, and then there's this really fascinating last step.
You learn to transform blocks into fire. So the idea here is that challenges or obstacles or truths we're kind of afraid to face, they aren't just dead ends. They're actually packed with potential energy. And when we finally face them, that blocked energy becomes fuel. It becomes fire for our own growth. And where does all of this growth ultimately lead? Well, it leads to a really powerful shift in where we look for wisdom and for answers.
Which brings us right to the heart of it all. The goal isn't to go out and find the answer from somewhere else. It's to grow into the kind of person who is their own answer.
And this is called the savior shift. It's that really profound moment when you stop waiting around for someone or something else to come and give you the map, and you realize that through your own growth, your own groundedness, you are the map. The wisdom you were looking for was in you the whole time.
So we come all the way back to this visual guide. And when you look at it now, what does it all really boil down to? It's a pretty human way of being, isn't it? Just living openly in what's real, loving deeply without needing to control, and maybe most importantly, just being real.
And so I'll just leave you with this one little thought to carry with you. We spend so much of our energy searching for a new door to open, a new path to find. But
What if we just took a moment to look around? In your life right now, what window is already open?